In this case, we're going to go back rock. We're going to let that hip go right through, rotate to power off. Right through the foot, rotate to power off. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two lateral lines like a cross here, like an X. Okay, and here's my points. And then I'm going to do two half circles. Okay, these represent my rotation. So these lines, these lateral lines here, represent my hip moving laterally, and I refer that as pendulum. Okay, and then the half circles represent the hip going through rotation on both sides. So this would be toe and heel of the foot. Okay, so the basically your hip goes to the toe, and then what we do is we try to get it to the big toe over to the small pinky toe, and then that's kind of the transition as it goes to rotation. So as the hip rotates to the side, right about this point here, it's on the side, which is the arch of your foot, and then you continue to rotate your hip back towards the heel. So at that spot, when it hits the heel, we're gonna now try to transfer from our hip over to the following foot here. So this is my left foot. If I'm on my right foot here, I'm gonna move my hip over to my left side to the toe, and that's my lateral pendulum. And then I go through really rotation. Rotation has two parts. It has to the side, right, which takes it to the arch of the foot, and then if I continue to rotate back to the heel, I drew an F, not an H, that's a heel, and that's towards the back. Okay, so eventually I create this infinity sign. So what does this all mean with the actual body? So what we're doing, so you can come here, is that if I try to illustrate that infinity sign, and I'll start at one spot, so my hip is moving lateral to the big toe of the right foot, and then I'm going to start to go through its rotation, arch, back to the heel, okay? And then from here I move it lateral to the big toe, pinky toe, and I start through the rotation all the way back. This is the arch to the side, this is going all the way back to the heel, and I go through that action. Lateral pendulum, rotational back to the heel. Lateral pendulum, rotation back to the heel. No matter what step I do, it can be in place. I create the same action. I go forward, toe, rotate back to the heel, side action, toe, rotate back to the heel. That's what I try to do. Okay. Okay, so the common mistake is whenever we go through our from foot to foot, or whenever we're trying to turn, the goal is to actually rotate through the foot, but not around the foot. Okay, so there's a big difference. If I change the angle, actually, if you come here, okay, come here to the drawing for a second. So my infinity sign goes here, right? So I'm creating this lateral hip action to the toe. Okay. Now I can redraw it like this. So if I don't get all the way, this is a bad foot example, okay, but that's my two ugly feet. Okay. That's really bad, but okay, that's the heel, right? Toe heel, toe heel. So the goal obviously is to get to there, rotate around, and then get to the top, and then rotate around. Now, what happens if I don't get enough rotation, my plane actually becomes more here to here. So I end up staying lateral action, rotate, lateral action this way. But you notice now, compared to the first drawing, how the angles change. And so my hip action actually is never getting to the toe or never getting to the heel. It's actually pretty much staying towards the arch of the foot. And when I do this action, I actually tend to go around the foot rather than through the foot. So the example is, if I only do kind of this action here, you can see I'm doing the motion, but the range is not that big. So now what happens is if I try to do this and I turn, I'm actually going around my foot to try to turn, okay? And the goal is to really go through the foot. So I'm taking that pendulum to the toe, and then from there, the only way I can go, I'm all the way over to the toe of the foot. I have to go back to the heel. So now as I go here, I have to go back to the heel to push off and come forward. How does this relate to your turns? So when I go through the turn, the goal is to get over to the big toe, okay? So as I do an action, go through the toe so that I can turn. Now my hip is in this angle, and I go to the toe again to turn, whatever the case is, right? In this case, we're gonna go back rock. We're gonna let that hip go right through, rotate to power off. Right through the foot, rotate to power off. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like down below. Hit up our Instagram page for more video tips coming your way. Keep dancing. Shaka. See you later.